Imagine being born with a striking deformity, or acquiring one through an accident or illness. In a time when society offered few opportunities, your only means of making a living was showcasing your difference to crowds eager for entertainment. It was turning your personal story, often filled with pain and struggle, into a spectacle for others' amusement. This was the harsh reality for many individuals whose unique appearances made them subjects of fascination and ridicule. They were labeled as freaks and became the centerpieces of shows designed to profit from public curiosity and laughter at their expense. This video will show you the dark history of those who endured being displayed and exploited under the guise of entertainment, shining a light on the dark side of human curiosity and the industry that thrived on it. Circus sideshows have been around for a very long time, dating back to medieval times. While the circus gave them a chance to earn money, it often exploited them and stripped them of their dignity. Behind the entertainment, there was a darker, more complex story. For people with noticeable physical differences, finding a regular job was tough, if not impossible. Without a family to support them, their options were bleak. Living in terrible conditions in an asylum or becoming part of a circus or freak show. For many, the circus offered a community and a way to live that was close to normal. However, the golden age of circuses around the 20th century had its dark sides. Not all performers joined by choice. Some were forced or even kidnapped into performing. Abuse from managers and audiences was not uncommon, as many failed to recognize their humanity. Yet, amid these challenges, some performers found great success and earned more than anyone watching them. An interesting fact is that not all freaks were born with their unique traits. The circus owners even had saying, "Freaks are what you make them," showing that sometimes the show promoters would take someone with a small oddity and turn it into a big deal to attract audiences. In this video, we'll cover into 6 true stories of these performers, showing the reality of those shows and revealing the human experiences behind the spectacle. Let's take a closer look at the lives behind the circus tent. The stories of these performers range from happy and fulfilling to sad and deeply disturbing. Let's begin. In 1829, during a visit to the Kingdom of Siam, now known as Thailand, a Scottish merchant named Robert Hunter encountered an extraordinary sight. 2 boys, conjoined at the sternum, swimming together with remarkable coordination. These boys, Chang and Eng Bunker, were born in 1811 in a small town near Bangkok. Their condition made them medical marvels. They lived with nearly separate bodies, connected only by a 4-inch band of flesh. Seeing a lucrative opportunity, Hunter pursued the twins' family and persuaded their mother with $500 to allow him to exhibit her sons around the world as the Siamese twins. The brothers became an instant hit, drawing crowds with their acrobatic feats and badminton games. Despite their popularity, Chang and Eng saw little of the profits and were treated more as Hunter's property than as individuals. By the time they turned 21, the Bunker twins had had enough of being exploited. They severed ties with Hunter and took their talents into their own hands, organizing their own shows. This independence allowed them to finally earn their keep and set their own performance terms. However, the spotlight and the constant gawking eventually wore on them, leading to their decision to step away from the freak show and circus life. Seeking a new beginning, Chang and Eng Bunker moved to North Carolina, embraced American citizenship, and purchased a plantation. Their new life, however, was not without controversy. The twins became slave owners, holding 18 slaves, many of whom were acquired as children. In a further twist to their extraordinary lives, Chang and Eng married sisters, and between them fathered a total of 21 children. But their fortunes took a turn for the worse after the Civil War. Having invested heavily in the Confederate cause, they found themselves bankrupt. Chang's health deteriorated under the strain, leading to excessive drinking and eventually a stroke in 1870. Tragedy struck in 1874 when Chang succumbed to bronchitis and died in his sleep. Eng, finding his brother deceased beside him, passed away just hours later, marking the end of a remarkable journey that had taken them from the waters of Siam to the heart of American history. Myrtle Corbin, known as the Fourlegged Girl from Texas, was born in 1868 with a unique condition called dipygus, which gave her 2 separate pelvises and 4 legs. Her extra pair of legs, smaller in size, couldn't support her weight or allow her to walk, and she also had 2 sets of reproductive organs. Despite her condition, Myrtle was known for her gentle and cheerful nature, quickly becoming a hit in the freak show world. She started performing at 13 and even caught the attention of P.T. Barnum, who brought her into his famous circus, boosting her fame across America. Myrtle earned as much as $450 a week, a huge sum at the time, making her one of the most successful sideshow acts. After 4 years with Barnum, during which her fame inspired imitations, Myrtle left the circus life. At 19, she married James Clinton Bicknell, and the couple had 5 children. Myrtle lived a quieter life thereafter, but remained a figure of fascination until her death from a skin infection in 1928, just before her 60th birthday. Out of fear that grave robbers might target her unique body, her family buried her casket in concrete, having turned down lucrative offers for her remains. They protected her grave until the concrete set, ensuring Myrtle's final peace. Jojo the Dogfaced Boy, born as Fedor Yevtichev in Russia in 1868, was born with hypertrichosis, also known as werewolf syndrome, a condition that caused an extraordinary amount of hair growth all over his body. At the age of 16, Fedor, alongside his father who shared the same condition, was brought to the United States by P.T. Barnum. Barnum, a master showman, exaggerated their story, claiming they had been found living wild in a cave and were captured by a hunter. This sensational tale, while entirely fabricated, added to their allure as exotic beings from a far-off land. Despite Barnum's depiction of his father as a wild, untamable savage who was shot by a hunter, Fedor's father had, in reality, earned his living just like his son, performing in sideshows until his life was cut short by alcohol. Fedor quickly rose to fame under Barnum's guidance, billed as the most prodigious paragon of all prodigies Barnum had ever found. Despite his intelligence and ability to speak multiple languages, Fedor was compelled to bark on stage, reinforcing his dog-faced persona. His unique appearance captivated audiences, making him a beloved and highly intriguing figure across America. Fedor died from pneumonia in 1904 in Greece, and the news of his passing was met with widespread mourning across the United States, showing the deep impression he had made on the American public. George and Willie Muse, 2 African-American albino brothers, faced unimaginable challenges after being kidnapped from their home in Roanoke, Virginia in 1899. At just 6 and 9 years old, they were thrust into the harsh world of circus life by a freak hunter named James Herman Candy Shelton. Forced to grow their hair into dreadlocks and perform under demeaning nicknames like the Men from Mars, the brothers endured a life of humiliation for the amusement of others. Despite their popularity, they received only the essentials for survival and were denied access to the wages they earned, which were pocketed by their white managers. Adding to their ordeal, George and Willie were falsely told that their mother, Harriet Muse, had died, a cruel lie meant to crush any hopes of escape. Unbeknownst to them, their mother was fighting relentlessly to bring them home. Battling against the pervasive racism of the era and authorities who dismissed her pleas, Harriet's persistence paid off when she located her sons performing in 1927. Poignant reunion followed as the brothers recognized her in the audience, leading to their long-awaited return home. In the aftermath, the Musa Brothers negotiated a new contract with the circus, securing better conditions and the ability to support their family financially, though challenges with their wages persisted. After retiring in the mid-1950s, they spent their remaining years sharing the story of their remarkable and tumultuous journey. George passed away in 1972 from heart failure, and Willie lived until 2001, reaching the age of 108. Their legacy is a testament to resilience, the enduring strength of familial bonds, and the fight against exploitation and injustice. Isaac W. Sprag lived a normal life until the age of 12 when he suddenly started losing weight rapidly, despite having a healthy appetite. By adulthood, he weighed only 43 pounds at a height of 5'6". After losing his parents and struggling to find work due to his condition and low energy, Sprag decided to see if he could work with P.T. Barnum in New York City. Sprag recalled meeting Barnum through an agent, who remarked on Sprag's thin appearance. Barnum, needing to fill his show after a fire, offered Sprag a job paying $80 a week. Sprag joined Barnum's show, traveling and performing. He married Tamar Moore and had 3 children, maintaining a fragile health by carrying a flask of milk for nourishment. Despite not enjoying life in the freak show and battling a gambling problem, Sprag saw few other options for making a living. In 1882, doctors diagnosed him with progressive muscular atrophy, a condition leading to muscle loss and weakness. Sprag humorously mentioned donating his body to Harvard Medical School, emphasizing his need for it during his lifetime. He passed away on January 5, 1887, leaving behind a legacy of resilience despite his struggles with health, gambling, and poverty. Fanny Mills was born in England around 1860 and moved to Ohio with her family as a child. Soon, her parents noticed something extraordinary about her. Her feet began to grow exceptionally large. Despite weighing only 115 pounds, Fanny's feet measured 19 inches in length and 7 inches in width, forcing her to wear pillowcases as socks and the skin of 3 goats for shoes. Her condition was later identified as Milroy's disease, which causes swelling in the lower limbs. By 1885, considering her unique situation, Fanny, with her friend Mary Brown, traveled to the East Coast to exhibit herself. Showmen quickly took her on, introducing her as the Ohio Bigfoot Girl, and proclaiming her feet to be the largest on Earth. In a bid to draw even larger crowds, promoters falsely claimed that Fanny's father would offer $5,000 to any man who married her, despite her father having passed away. Fanny had married William Brown, Mary's brother, in 1886. Fanny showcased her remarkable feat for about 7 years, earning up to $150 a week at times. However, following a miscarriage in 1887, her health declined, leading her to retire from the freak show circuit in 1892. Fanny and her husband then returned to Ohio, where she passed away at the age of 39. Schlitzie was one of the most well-known performers in the 20th century circus world. Graced the stages of major shows like the Dobrich International Circus and Ringling Bros. And Barnum and Bailey Circus. Born around 1901 with microcephaly, a condition leading to a smaller-than-average head and an underdeveloped body, Schlitzie, possibly named Simon Metz originally, grew up in foster care before joining the circus. In the circus community, Schlitzie was loved for his childlike innocence, despite only being able to communicate in simple sentences. However, he faced cruelty from audiences, enduring names like freak and moron. Schlitzie's moment of fame came in 1932 with his role in the film Freaks, which, despite critical backlash, made him momentarily a star. Life remained tough for Schlitzie after his brief brush with fame. He found a guardian in a chimp trainer named George Circus, who treated him like family until Circus' death led to Schlitzie being placed in a Los Angeles mental institution. After spending years in isolation, Schlitzie was discovered by Bill Unks, a sideshow performer, who took him back into the performing world. Schlitzie continued to perform until his retirement in Los Angeles, passing away in 1971 and buried in an unmarked grave. In 2007, a fan funded a headstone for Schlitzie, finally giving him the recognition and respect he had long been denied, marking a tribute to his life and career in the circus. As the curtains finally closed on the era of freak shows, we are left to reflect on a chapter of entertainment history that was as fascinating as it was brutal. This period shows us how far people could go in the pursuit of entertainment and profit, often at the expense of human dignity and ethics.